morning, Marco.
Good morning.
Hey, finally we meet. Finally we meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning to join our program and to share your amazing journey to our audience around the world. And on behalf of the listeners, I want to say thank you to you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to see me.
I know. And as Vivian, I was so excited for the past couple of days for this opportunity to see you because you live in Ho Chi Minh City, same place that we've been living here also. And you are amongst a very rare people reach out to me and say, hey, you like the program. And when I ask you how often you reach out to people and give that compliment, right?
Yeah.
And that's very nice and kind of you. And you say you not doing it often. And it made me feel like on our journey of doing things like this and having a word of encouragement from people like you, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So as I say, okay, please join and share your stories to our audience. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation, my
Pleasure,
friend.
it's a pleasure.
Yeah. So you've been in Vietnam for long.
Yeah.
Right? So you know our culture here. And it's very honor for our audience if they can have you to share a little bit about who you are and the work you are doing.
Yes,
Please
sure, I will do that. So my name is Marco.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Italy. And I've been to Vietnam. I first come to Vietnam in 2014. I arrived in Da Nang, where I mentioned to you before. Still my, not favorite city, but a city where it was my first connection to the country and the door for me to discover Vietnam. Of course, 12 years ago was completely different compared to now. So when I arrived, I started to work in a five-star hotel. I had this chance to join the one of the famous resorts in the city. So by the time working, I also had the time to discover the culture, the food, the people, and of course was completely different from my country. And for that reason, after 2 weeks, I want to go back home. I want to give up. Because I feel it's so much difficult for me to adapt. And the job was stressful, was something that I never did before in terms of when I work in Italy, I always work for standalone restaurant. And so in Vietnam was for me the first time to join a big structure like hotel resort with international travelers. So there was a lot of things to catch up, a lot of things to adapt. My English was not so good. So I had to really go through some hard time and try to make it happen. You know, because when I left from my country, I thought this is a good opportunity. I didn't know anything about Asia.
You didn't know anything?
I was never traveling to Asia.
Wow.
And the first country was to Vietnam. You know, and I still remember I catch the flight on the 13th September 2014 and alone from Milan to Hong Kong was my first flight, then Hong Kong to Da Nang. And then I was thinking, where am I going? I didn't know anything. Okay, you can search on Google what they do in Vietnam, what is the food, what is the culture, how the girl look like, of course. But basically, you just have some information from the internet. The real life is different, right? So, but at the end, it was a good choice for me, and I didn't give up. I remember my father told me, just hold on for a while, just trying, and of course, if you feel you cannot, you can always come back home.
Yeah. Your father gave you a very beautiful advice.
Yes.
To hold on and let's see how life, gonna give you the lessons of that. And thanks to him, not only you stay in Vietnam, you have a family here also, right? And I'm gonna travel time with you, okay? Because earlier to this show, you talked about your family, that your father is doing constructions in Italy, your mom did variety of works that mostly helping elderly people. So she has a kind heart to work with the people who need for physical help and mental help also. And your brother also doing something else, right?
Yeah.
But you You're like doing something else that none of, exists in your family also.
Yeah.
So our conversation is designed to help people to realize their dream and how their dreams and life taking them on the journey of achieving their dreams. Okay, so when Vivian was little, she wanted to become a singer, right? And when I was little, I was born in Da Nang, so the first city you can, right? And Da Nang 40 something years ago is really, really poor, really, really small.
Yeah.
And I was born in a very poor family. So on the right side of the house is a big cemetery. In the back side is another big cemetery. In the left side also a big cemetery. So all I saw every day is just tombs and death. And so at night when it's dark, and when I saw the moon, I had the first desire of my dream is I wanted to become an astronaut so that I can fly to the moon, I can see how bright it's up there, right? And life taken me to a very different path. Except in the journey that I've been interviewing experts around the world with Vivian, we interviewed a lot of astronauts. And one of them actually came to the moon. So Charlie Duke is the one that came to the moon. And Vivian and I have been able to do a lot of amazing work together with Charlie and Dorothy, his wife. And one of that is to contribute in building a new church in rural areas outside of Da Nang, where my parents, where my grandparents growing up and lived there. Yeah. So for you, when you were little, what was your dream about your future, though?
When I was little, I always asked my older brother, bring me to the train station, because I love to see the train pass by, and standing there for hours. I remember we used to go with bicycle, and just to see the train pass by. And I say one day I want to how you say, to drive the train. That was my dream. That actually is, I think, I never go in that direction, but I think it's not so difficult or complicated to learn. Of course, you might need to do some school or something, no? But then I never followed that road. I did a completely different school from the culinary background as well.
What did you study?
I study basically something related to electronics. Okay. At that time, I don't really think what can be my future. I just, I just choose a school and I did my 5 years, actually 6, because 1 year I failed. But anyway, I finished my school, I took my diploma, and I was 20 years old. And then I say, now what I do? And I have a friend, he told me, hey, Marco, I'm going for 3 months, the summertime, I'm going to UK, I'm going to London. Do you want to join me? I say, you know what, yeah, why not? Let's try, let's go together. So we went there with zero English, literally zero English, just hello, how are you? My name is, that's it.
Wow.
And so we start to do this life in London. And the beginning I start to do the dishwasher. So I literally wash the plate. But then I always like to be around the restaurant, and I start to understand that, these things of meeting people, tell people story, serving food, preparing food for them, actually I like, and my friend after 3 months, he go back and I stay.
Wow.
I stay, and from washing the plates, so very basic job in a restaurant, I go inside the first kitchen, which was with 3 or 4 Italian chefs. And these people, they also helped me to learn, because I didn't have any school background. So somehow I need to learn. So they teach me how to keep the knife, how to cut, why it's like this, why it's like that, all the technical things related to kitchen. And I enjoy.
You enjoy?
The hours was very long in the day.
I bet, yeah.
You're working from the morning. Maybe you have a little break in the afternoon. You need to go back serving the dinner.
Yeah.
But to be in a team, and probably also because some Italian was around me, this helped me to understand that this is what I like to do.
Wow.
And, so this was the understand of what I really want to do.
Wow. let's stop there, okay? So as a child, you wanted to just look at the train and wanted to be, like wanted to become a driver, a captain of the train,
Yes.
right? And spend hours at the train station just watching it by. What was in your head back then when seeing just the train said, "Foo," like this, "Foo," like that? Yeah.
Yeah, some train pass by, some train stop, and I see people in and out of the train. I don't know, it was something that really attracted me to think, oh, I will be the one who manage and control the train.
Wow.
To go faster or slow, to stop at this station, to open the door. The kids are, when we're kids, we have very simple thinking, no?
Yeah. And I think something about that will link to what you do today. Because if you look at the hotel operations, right? You look at all the guests coming and then they leaving.
Correct.
Yeah, so just like a train that passed by with a lot of people just going out the train, and another bunch of people are gonna come into the train to go somewhere else. So that's similarity in
Exactly,
there,
yeah.
right? And another similarity that I can see, from this early conversation is the movement. You move from Italy to the UK, then from the UK to somewhere else, and from there. It's the love to exploring the world, exploring yourself also. Doing the dishwashers. When I did the dishwasher in the US, I hated it. I didn't like it at all. Yeah. But when you did
Every job.
but when you started at the bottom rung of the hotel chain, right? But you love that.
Yeah.
You love that, and then you get into the kitchen. You didn't know what to do, how to use a knife properly. But you love that because the people teach you and you're open for learning. Yeah.
Correct.
So if you trace back into your family, that desire of exploring, of expanding, into the unfamiliar territory, where's it coming from?
I think, as I mentioned to you before, my father is from the south of Italy, and long time ago the south used to be poor compared to the north of the country. So many people from the south moved to the north, to the unknown, just looking for a better life, just looking for a job and to grow up the family. And usually the family from the south, they have a lot of kids, so they need to work, of course, to feed the family. And my grandfather, he did that. So he moved from the south to the north, looking for a job, and then he can bring all the family there. So he might be connected to this. This is a story that I know because, of course, my father told me. I didn't have a chance to meet my grandfather. But yeah, somehow, he also went to the unknown. And the years was like 1960. So the economy was booming at that time in Italy. So a lot of chance. And so this is what they did. And then my father born in the south but grew up in the north, which is a completely different mindset. And that's why also me and my brother, we of course we born in the north and we grew up there.
Okay, I want to bring you to the moment that you started to break all the barriers, move to the UK. Different culture, different people, and different, even in Europe, but UK is like in the different island also,
correct,
right?
correct.
So, and you spoke no English back then.
I feel shame when I cannot communicate.
I came to the US with zero English as well, and why I saw your story was the story of expansion. My story was on the reverse side because I couldn't speak the language, so I tried to stay at home. I tried to stay in the bubble to protect for myself. So I was smaller and smaller and smaller, but you were like expand and expand. So teach me, teach us, what did you do when you came to a country with all of that differences and starting to expand yourself into the new territory?
You need to learn. You need to learn. You need to be open to learn new things. if you not want to do that, you cannot, in my opinion, you cannot go anywhere.
Yeah.
If you want to do this kind of job and if you want to travel the world as well. So I study English in the school, but I never thought English will be, actually now it's my first language, because I speak English every day to everyone, to colleagues, to outside on the road. You know, I just speak Italian when I call my parents and that's it. So I study, I think I don't need English, and suddenly it becomes something that I use every day, more than my language.
Yeah.
You know. So when I go to London and I realize that English class at that time I need, and I feel shame because I think I had opportunity to study and I didn't care, and now I need. So now what can I do? I learn by watching movie, simply listening to English song, or when I catch the bus or the underground, I listen people. And but the English that they speak in London is quite different and difficult. I believe like in the US, right? It's not like us. We still maintain our our own accent, right? When we talk. So yeah, somehow years after years, I learn and I start to practice my speaking every day until it become it become like an everyday things to do, speak English.
Yeah. From dishwashing, get into the kitchen in just a few months.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, just a few months. Because the people in the kitchen, maybe you did something there that they saw, they had the interest into you to help you. Otherwise, you know, they will be focused on helping other people elsewhere. So what did you do that made them, hey, Marco, maybe you don't need to do the dishing anymore. Let's go into the kitchen. Let's learn from the scratch.
Yeah.
Right? I think that, you know, busy and famous restaurant, there will be always people, you know, from culinary school coming in, so they don't have to train, you know, they don't have to mentor or coach. Easier to bring those people in instead of having you teaching from scratch. Right? So what did you do?
I just you know, when I don't have any dish to wash, I go and look what they do. And then I say, hey, you know, I want to also learn this one. Can you show me? Can you teach me?
Wow.
And then suddenly, you know, one day they say, hey, you really want to learn? I say, yes, why not? Okay. Then from the dishwasher, you can move in the first step, the first level of the kitchen, you know, which is called like komi, you know. So where you
What is that called?
Commis. Yes.
Okay.
So you learn the basic skill, and eventually you spend all the time peel potato or chopping onion. You know, they just give you some basic task, and then of course again it's come back to learn. You need to be hungry to learn. If you're okay to peel potato the whole life, it's fine. It's your choice, but you will stay there forever. You know. So you need to be hungry to learn. And then I remember there was this man, that time was already a little bit old. You know, in Italy we quite famous also for the pasta, and the pasta is sauté in the pan. But it seems to be easy, but it's not. So every afternoon he make one pan full of the uncooked rice, and he give me and say, okay, you practice now. And first few weeks all the rice fall on the floor. Because to learn, right? And then eventually it start to happen. You know, the rice stay in the pot. And then okay, you learn something new.
Wow.
See?
Yeah.
Just like a kid. Just like a kid learn to go with a bicycle. Yeah.
And that they call patience is a big virtue, right? Patience.
Yes.
And you was in your 20s, young and curious, wanting to grow, want to learn, and want to do a lot more. And I believe back then you will see there's so many potential inside of you that you want to fast track the progress. So a lot of people won't have that patience just to, you know, do the pans and to do that, or just to peel the onion. They want to, you know, do it something else faster. I want to learn, I want to grow, right? And and those become a motivation that kills the learning process, the mastery. So it links to what your father said to you when you were in the now.
Correct.
Okay, so patient
Hold on.
and hold on to that one. At that young age, not a lot of people will have that easy of holding on to that.
Yeah.
So what message did you tell yourself so that you will be patient enough to and curious enough to stay longer in that path?
I think I in a certain point I realize I have people that want to teach me, and so I need to take this opportunity. I'm doing something which I never studied before, but it's something that I understand I want to do in the future. So I should take this opportunity to learn.
Wow.
And to always improve myself. So I think this thought inside me keep me going and keep me spend my afternoon try to use the pen and eventually move to another task. Yeah.
Wow. And after London, where else? I believe that you've been traveling different countries.
Yeah. So after this first restaurant in London, I had a chance to join one very famous restaurant, which was one Michelin-star in London. The chef is Giorgio Locatelli, his name. So I entered this completely different reality. Michelin-star restaurants are very tough. They use the ingredient very carefully. So it was not only a matter of cooking, it was also understand this ingredient, what is the best to serve in the plate. Not all the cut of the beef are good to make the bocon, right? You need to choose the right one. So when you go to the market, you think I want to do this dish, okay, I need to buy this cut of the beef. So he expand my thinking on each ingredient you can develop, and it has a function, a final result in the plate. But not all the ingredients are the same. So again, I enter in the lowest level
in the restaurant.
In the restaurant, I work for 14-15 hours a day. Go in, it's still dark. Go out, it's already dark. And London is particular because the sky is always dark anyway. So I do this one for a couple of years, and it was quite tough. And then I say, okay, I need to take a little bit break because it start to to feel on my body, to be tired, overwhelming. So I decide to take a break. I go back to Italy, but I go back with something that I learned there.
Yeah.
I didn't go back like
not the same when
I
ago.
go.
Yeah,
correct. Not the same. So somehow I gained something from this experience. Then I stayed for a while in Italy, working in the standalone restaurant, and then was 2014, and I had this opportunity to move abroad again, but I never thought Asia. And especially Vietnam.
Okay.
Never ever really. I never look at this part of the world. Maybe just China, because of course China is a big country, and so I have this opportunity, and then I say, okay, again, why not? Just let me try, and this everything start. From there.
Everything happened for a reason. Right.
I believe so.
So you say the opportunity for you to come to Vietnam, but the opportunity also start from you applying for the process also.
Yeah.
So for the man that been working in the Michelin-star restaurants for 14-15 hours a day for years, and when you first came to Vietnam, you decided, you almost quit for the first 2 weeks.
Yes.
Right? What's the difference?
I think the big things were different of culture, of way to do things, that at that time was not really, was a bit tough to adapt for me. But then, as I told you before, having conversation with my father, he suggests, okay, just try, hold on for a little bit more. And then I did that, and then I start to see the good things in something that was not familiar to me.
Wow.
And then And from seeing, and then something I start to like.
Wow.
You know, I start to like the way that these people living, and the way they go in the road, and the way they use this small chair and having breakfast, lunch or dinner, or just a glass of beer. I start to feel, oh, that's not bad actually. Yes, it's not like my country, but it's not bad.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, please.
A lot of people we will stick with the ideas, right? Stick with idea. For me, for example, when I didn't like anything, I was trying to stick with that idea for long, and then she is the one who really trying to push me out of that to think differently. You were here alone by yourself and stressed and didn't like it, and then you say that you started to see differently.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is coming from your inside. Something else inside of you to start to see the situation happen the same people, the same environment, the same settings, the same people eating, and on the street. The street is also crowded, the same, but inside of you is changed.
Yes.
So what changed?
I think
how did that change happen?
Change. You need to change the way you see things.
Okay.
In this sense, we believe. In Italy, or let's say in Europe, what we do or what they do in Europe is I don't want to say the best, but it's the only way to live. And that's why when people traveling and see how other people living, they open their mind. And if you never travel, you will still believe the way you live is the best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And that's what I always say to people, just go and have a look. Don't believe what people tell you. You go to that country and look with your eyes. And you will change your the way you look at the things.
Yeah.
But for my situation, I didn't know anything about Asia, or very little.
Yeah.
And especially, I will say, nothing about Vietnam, except this story of the country has because of the war.
The public information.
Public information,
yeah. Okay.
So, when I come, everything I did discover with my eyes. One day, I told a friend, this is Da Nang, is a city. I want to see the countryside. I want to see how the people live in the countryside. And they say, are you sure? I say, yes, why not? Why? What is wrong? So, this girl that she became my wife later, she was just a friend. Okay, she said, okay, I will bring you to see my family, the place where my family living. So we went to the countryside, really countryside. I'm sure you know very well. Like with only rice field around, buffalo was there, and this house very simple, and of course all the people looking at me. And they feel surprised. What this guy is doing here? What is he doing here? Looking at me and also looking a little bit at her, because you bring this guy here, and he's a foreigner, he's a Western guy, But then I start to see with my eyes how is the simple life in the countryside.
Wow.
What the people doing. And of course they're doing mainly farmer, they care animal, and then I also discovered that I like this kind of simple life.
Wow. Yeah.
Not that I will do this life. Maybe it's not for me, but I like and I respect what these people doing.
Because you like the simplicity of life.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct. Wow. And from there you started to look at things around you different eyes.
From there I start to understand better, okay, this is the reality in the countryside. This is the reality in the city like Da Nang. That 12 years ago was not like this today, right? Was still more simple. And then eventually I make some friends, people invite me for a coffee, a very important things of the Vietnamese culture now, having coffee in the morning, just like Italian, just like we do, we have espresso, right? And people invite me for try the Vietnamese food and the culture of having beer together, and then day by day, I think, okay, I think I can stay here, I can do my job, I can enjoy my life. And things until today.
And your girlfriend then, your wife now, right? What's her name?
Hang.
Han.
Yes.
H-A-N-H.
Hang.
Like Hang.
Oh,
my wife.
like Vivian. Okay,
like Vivian
okay,
also.
okay.
Wow. So, what made you? She was a friend who showed you around and becoming your life partner. So, tell us more about that journey.
Actually, she was a big support for me because, as you said before, I was only myself, don't know anything. So she was a big support in terms of understanding the culture and the place, and also big support in terms of work. She also was the one to, to encourage me, just keep going. And we met at work. She also used to work at this famous resort in the city. And she was working at the spa, I was working at the kitchen. We used to meet in the staff canteen, where you take your lunch. And
who made the move first?
Of course, me. Who made the move first? Of course, me. I remember a story in the staff canteen. I never used chopstick before. The staff canteen was spoon and chopstick. Correct. So, okay, let me try to use the chopstick to eat the rice, but in the beginning it was terrible, and everybody look at me, so I feel even more pressure that I cannot use this chopstick, and on top of that everybody looking at me. So it was, if I think now, it was a funny story. It was a funny story.
Beautiful. And not only Vietnam, now you moved to Indonesia, you moved to other countries.
Correct.
Also, and you decided to come back to this country.
Yes.
And I think Vietnam has its charms to to keep people stay with love, with expansion. Also, for many years you've been traveling. If you look at you 20 years ago, for your first learning of cutting things, and now been working in many 5-star hotels and resorts and handling all the the operation for the am I saying correctly, culinary operation?
Correct.
Yeah. How do you feel about that whole journey of starting at even below than zero? So how's that?
How does it feel?
How does that feel?
That 20 years ago, I cannot imagine to have this kind of bright future. I mean, of course, I have some time where I struggle as well. I feel proud. However, I still be humble, because the title that you have, a job, it doesn't mean you can do anything you want. Besides managing the culinary operation, there is also a team to manage, a team of people with different personality. They are local Vietnamese, and I'm still the foreigner, right? So sometimes there is some different way of looking at things happening in the day-to-day operation. So I will say I'm still learning. After 20 years, I'm still learning, and I still sometimes surprised when I go on the road and look at the place where I live. Surprised in a positive way.
Beautiful.
And I always try to connect with people. This is also one of the reasons I send you the text, and I want to connect with you. I believe human connection is still the best. Nowadays we have the mobile, everybody are on social media and looking at the phone all the time. But this kind of connection, this kind of communication we are having now, for me, is still the best.
That's inside of you. That's in your DNA. You're in the city of Da Nang. You say you want to go to the countryside to see how people live there. So you have that curiosity of exploring life.
Correct.
By itself.
Yeah.
Right. And I was thinking about when you say that when you 20-something years ago, you never imagined yourself that you're gonna be doing this kind of work today. So bring me to that kitchen, and if you could imagine back then what possible for you, for that Marco, right, about his future in the culinary world, how what was the weirdest thing that you ever dreamed, from there?
I think, okay, if I didn't go abroad, I will probably be working in some restaurant, I will say in Italy, just with a normal life, But my curiosity bring me always to say, no, I don't want to stop here. I want to see what is the next. I want to see what is the next,
Yeah.
So somebody have this one inside and some they don't have. So I have a lot of friends, they live in Italy, and they're happy with that, and if you bring me now back to Italy and you tell me you need to live here now, sorry, I cannot. I cannot.
See more.
I can go back for holiday, of course, to see my parents. Italy is a beautiful country, so I do that. But to bring me there and live, no, I cannot.
Then I think thanks to your grandfather, right, moving from the south to the north, that started the whole movement, for the family and expanding yourself, right? And for example, now I'm gonna bring first you to meet me. You never met him in life. You never met him.
No.
So assuming that you're gonna meet him. So travel to 1960 or something when he say that he moved the family to the north. And you're gonna meet him there, and you tell him, hey, grandfather, you moved from the south to the north. I moved to Asia. I moved to way across continents. You're gonna tell him about your journey and anything to your grandfather. What is that you're gonna tell him?
What I'm gonna tell him?
Yeah, what is that you're gonna tell him?
I will tell him, you did a small move from the south to the north, and I did a big one from the Europe to the Asia, but somehow following your belief of a better future, because he moved from the south to the north to give better future for the family, right? To looking for a job, to grow up the children, and I did that. Like, I don't move for a better future of the family, but I move for a better future for myself, and the family eventually follow later, like the wife and the child right now. So somehow there is a connection.
Absolutely. A week ago, I got goosebumps in here.
I see.
I got goosebumps in here because a week ago, my wife and I, we did a video on the Sundra mountain, and we talk about amazing people that we've been having great opportunity to meet in life, and we say, what is that about them that make them so special? One of that is about curiosity. You have it. Another one is about the passion, but the energy. 20-something years ago, you cut onion, you learn how to do the potato peeling and everything with passion, with energy, and with love. You say you started to find the love in what you do. Even dishwashing, you're washing this with love. And then now you're cooking with love, you're managing people with love, with caring you. So how did you build that love in whatever you touch your hands to do? And the reason I ask for it is, if I work in for 15 hours a day for 5 years, I will hate my job every single damn day, right? And a lot of people are gonna be like me. But you did that and you love it, you enjoy it. You get to the restaurant, it's dark. You got out, it's dark. So most of your day you don't see the sun, the lights, So where did you find that energy?
I think. What I find the energy is, it was nice to be in a dynamic kind of job. I'm not the one who like to sit in the office in front of a computer. I cannot do that kind of job. So to be a dynamic, okay, in the morning you come to the kitchen, you have your time for preparation, then we open for lunch, we serving the guest. So in all this process there is always some kind of stress, there is always some kind of adrenaline. You know, if the restaurant is getting busy, you need to serve your food on time. You need to also match with the other section of the kitchen. You preparing the appetizer, I'm preparing the pasta, so the timing is very important. And I found this something that give me the energy.
Wow.
When I was back in the kitchen, what give me the energy now is to go and talking with the guest, is to show my hospitality. Please come, you are my guest. You know, have a coffee, have some cookies. Let me show you around. You know, this is what I do mainly right now. Of course, we take care for the guests. They come into the hotel, and yeah, this give me energy. This give me energy.
Yeah.
If I cannot do this, when I go home in the evening, I'm not satisfied of my day.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Because mainly now I don't spend much time in the kitchen because I have my team.
Yeah.
But I like to spend time taking care of the guest.
Yeah. I think the work that you do, and when you work in the famous restaurant, in the 5-star hotel and hotel chains, right? It's always very high level of standard and expectation. So it's easy for people in that kind of work to start to see faults everywhere. You know, like you in the art world, you start to see that, oh, that's not beauty. Oh, this you see, this the quality is not up to your expectations, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure Vietnam is a country where it's growing, so there's a lot of unmet expectation for sure, right? And sometimes it's gonna create frustrations. And what do you do when you see your staff or the people that under your wing is not yet up to that standard? And
yeah, in the past I used to get upset. I tell you the truth.
yes.
But then I realized that getting upset, it doesn't solve the problem.
Wow.
It's just affecting myself. Because you're getting upset, you're getting stressed, then maybe you take 30 minutes to, you know, to calm down, you have to go for a walk, so no need. No need. Just what you want the staff doing, just show them. Show them, explain them, you know, we have to do like this for this reason. And this will be the result.
Wow.
Try, and then you will see.
Just like the person that taught you at the restaurant how to do the rice.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a very simple thing to do.
Yes.
For him, but not for me.
Okay.
So he just told me, you just try, fail, please fail again,
Yeah.
fail again. Eventually you will learn.
Yeah.
And this is the same.
And then that, you know, I know it's the same, but for a lot of people, still frustration takes place.
Yeah.
Is that so? Teach us at what moment in your life that you know that angry or upset is not going to change anything, and you be able to turn on the switch to move from, you know, that emotion, let the emotion rise, and then now let the action takes care for itself.
I think when I understand that many people don't have a chance to travel a lot.
Yeah.
So eventually they only see a few things, you know, like they see the working place, they see the hometown, and maybe they see around Vietnam. So there is a difference of I don't want to say knowledge, but experience. Let's call it like this. There's a difference of experience. If we have this chance to travel, we see a lot of things differently. Yeah. But somebody, they don't have this chance. So when I understand, okay, they don't have the chance to see what I have seen. So why I need to get upset?
Wow.
I can just tell them, you know, I saw this one in another country and this is work. I did it before. Just try to do it. Yeah. Or let's do it together.
Wow.
You know, offer yourself.
Wow.
Let's do it together. And then you will see the result.
Wow.
And when the result is really happening, they are very happy.
Wow.
You know?
Yep. I think that seed of kindness from your mom, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
From your mom, right there. So let's talk a little bit about your mom.
Yeah. Oh, my mom.
Your father gave you a very beautiful advice of holding on to that.
Yeah.
He taught you to be patient, right? What about your mom?
My mom, she very kind. She very sensitive, and I remember that time I tell her I will go to UK. She couldn't believe I will hold on there. She said after a month you will come back home because home was comfort, right? You have somebody cook for you, you have somebody do the laundry for you, you just go in and out, that's it. And then suddenly I need to do everything by myself. So she couldn't believe. But I want to show her I can do it by myself, everything. So I'm sure she's proud of this one. She never told me clear like this, but I'm sure she's proud. So back to my mom. She very sensitive. She very kind, and in all these years that I'm abroad, she always took the time to come and see me. She come to Vietnam every year. She came to China when I was in China. She came to Middle East, Abu Dhabi when I was in the Middle East. So she never afraid to go to the unknown and to travel together with my father. So I really appreciate her for this, because for me not all the time is easy, to catch a flight, travel back home, arranging my time. I try to do it once a year, but not every year is possible. And having a parents that they are okay to traveling, and lucky they're still in good health. So it's a good thing.
Wow.
It's a good thing, yeah.
So she cooked for you when you were little. And now if you travel back to Italy and stay nearby your parents, who's cooking?
No, I bring them to restaurant. I invite them to the restaurant.
That's beautiful, yeah. Vivian and I, we in 2025, so last year, about March of last year, we started to listen to every single conversation again. We spent hours to listen carefully, and we wanted to know what is the higher power giving us the opportunity for, not just to share the conversation, what else can we do? And the more we dive in, the more that we saw a common theme in all of the amazing people. Later on, we coined the term Newness Intelligence, and we trademarked that. We are working with a lot of renowned psychologists and researchers onto making that framework to be known. And for Newness Intelligence, it means basically you're not afraid of change. And you entering into something that you don't know with a very open mind and explore to see what it is, right? And you look at, a lot of people are really afraid of change. They want to do the same thing. Your friends in Italy, a lot of them doing the same thing. And also now you're teaching the people here in Vietnam, hey, travel, go somewhere, explore something, and then open your perspective if you can. So I want to give people an opportunity to be more confident of entering into newness. So if you look at the journey that you've been having and an experience that you entering into newness that really giving you a rewarding experience and result, so what would that be besides all the things that we are already sharing?
My God, a little bit difficult. This is a difficult question. A reward for me? Reward?
That make you feel like fully satisfied. Like for us, 5 years ago, when we started this journey, everybody says it's a stupid idea, and then we say, okay, why don't we try? And then we walk into a completely new thing that we had no experience whatsoever. We never experienced of interviewing people. We never have experience what kind of equipments that we're gonna need. We never had experience of what kind of questions you're gonna ask and how to invite people. How do we, do a proper interview? We never do it, and then nobody could be there to show us that. And then eventually, when we start to learning, and now it's really beautiful. Yeah. Look at us. We've been having a conversation for 40-something minutes. That I got goosebumps.
And we don't know each other before.
We don't know each other before, right?
That's it.
Yeah. So in your life you will have a lot of experience like that in you know, then maybe you share yours so that, you know, other people will have confidence to
Understand?
yeah,
You know, something that will be great, I think, is, as you said, is to share experience with the new generation. You know, like you can be invited, I don't know, in a school or in a university with this specific field of the hospitality, so hotel, restaurant, whatever it is, and you can share the story. You know, you can share the story, and hopefully some young boys and girls, they can be inspired by somebody who went through this road before, and absolutely was not easy. You know, the message is not that everything is always bright. There is some time where you want to just leave everything and you know, and give up. But you need to be strong. You know, you need to be strong to really believe that what you're doing is what you want to do. And you want to arrive there. If you don't have this belief, you cannot you cannot achieve the goal. You know, when I said, okay, when I start 12 years ago, I started as a sous chef, and I say I want to become executive chef one day. But of course, I didn't know in how many years. I didn't know where the journey will take me. And it took me to China first, and it took me to Middle East, and it took me around a lot of country with a lot of challenge as well. And then the dream that I had 12 years ago came true. What if in the middle of the road I say, you know, I'm tired, I just give up and I do something else? Maybe I will live with the how you say, the thought of not pursue my dream.
You will.
And what if, you say, oh, what if I continue? You know? So for me, it will be great to share my experience with the young generation.
Beautiful.
And I will be very happy to do this in this country, in Vietnam. Because there's a lot of potential. And I see young generation are willing to learn. They are still willing to learn.
Believe.
Yes.
Right? Believe is easy when you're in a good mood.
Correct.
Believe is easy when you see result. And you say that there's a lot of times that you're not in good mood, that challenging, and you're not in the you not see the immediate results. So a lot of people, because of those conditions, they will stop believing in themselves. So what did you do that makes you to continue hold on to that belief a little longer, so that eventually you're not gonna give up, like your father say, hold on, right?
Correct.
And eventually things started to turn out positively and in the right direction. I
think it was always the dream and the goal to become the position I'm having now. And again, it's not only the position, the title I have in the jacket. It is here, but is the journey and what I learned in the journey. You know, the person that I'm today, I was not 2 or 3 years ago. You know, I learned a lot, and I learned also from many mistakes. You know, and I learned from a sleepless night, from bad feedback from the guest, from a bad feedback from the boss. You know, and you need to also manage a lot of things. Which are mainly in your brain.
In your mental.
In your mental, yes.
So that's why we always say that if you have a foundation solid, like you work with your love, and you keep mastery what you do, you care for what you do, you care for the people around you, and eventually, you know, those are the fundamental that drive, and the weather could change. But then your fundamental will keep expanding, and eventually it will show the result. Right? In this conversation, you mentioned the word that Vivian and I love hearing is the word I think. Okay? Because we believe that there's a lot of things that affecting our ability to think. And amazing people, they grow because they have a thinking well. You know, they have the way of expand their thinking, having their thinking sharp, and helping them to, you know, like to sharpen their thinking over the years, right? So we have the desire to help people to grow their ability to think. And one of the best ways for us to do that is to have a conversation like this and explore, you know, guests like you to how you expand your thinking.
Yeah.
So the question for you, Marco, is how have you been expanding your ability to think over the years?
Probably through a couple of good mentors. I will not call them boss because I don't like the word. I call them mentor. I have a few of them which they help me a lot in the job itself, and also in how you have to control your emotion. Because to be emotional in this kind of job several times it will not help you. So if you react to everything is happening to you, it's not going to help you. So you need to first, okay, calm down. Let me understand why it is happening and why I have this kind of reaction, why I have this kind of emotion. And when everything is clear, then I can go and talk. Before I was not like this. Before I was reacting very much to everything, you know, to everything that coming from the outside to myself, and getting upset and getting angry, and then I understand no need, you know. The moment I understand this one, I cannot tell you I don't know, you know, I cannot recognize when. Probably my mind and my way of thinking, of course, changed throughout the years. But then I learned to receive what is coming from the outside. Okay, keep it and analyze better, rather than give an immediate reaction.
I believe,
you know, and then you can decide, okay, is this important to me? Yes or no. If not important, then leave it. Don't take it even in consideration. If it's important to me, okay, what can I do?
Wow. Because you are a curious person and always seek out for opportunity to learn. So the learning, even if it's not applied yet, but you hold it there inside of you. And one day all of the learning experience, all of the material, everything started to make sense.
Correct.
And when it makes sense, it changed you, right? Wow.
Yes.
And how do you feel? How do you feel with that beautiful change?
I feel much better.
Wow.
Feel much better. I have to tell you the truth.
Wow.
Now I'm very, how to say,
Calm? Contained?
calm compared to before, yes. But I can select what is good or bad in terms of the things that coming from the outside world. You know, it is affecting me or no.
So you filter it?
Yeah, correct. I can filter better. It is affecting directly to me. If yes, okay, how are you going to react? If no, then no need. You know, I'm in that kind of age that I need to start to do that. You know?
I think the environment, the listeners will be you need to learn this also.
You need to learn.
And they need to learn it from you in one experience and example, because your work is like up and down in terms of, because a lot of the result coming from the external.
Correct.
The expectations from the guests, like in the train station, you know, people coming in, and then some people come in with happiness, with joy. Some people will come with angry. It's really depend on what the day carry them. Right?
Exactly, yeah.
And a lot of people in the hotelier industry will be, you know, under of that unexpected things that come into their days, every single day. So they might be carried by emotions too. Yeah. So if you got carried by emotion, what do you do to bring you back to the ground that, hey, I'm gonna filter all of that thing and stay where it's best for my mental and my well-being.
Okay, sometimes I still got carried by emotion, of course. I'm
we are human beings,
so,
right?
what I do, I try to go outside, outside of the usual environment, So if I'm here, maybe I take a walk around the pool, and I'm thinking why this kind of emotion, and what situation bring me this kind of emotion. So you need to go deep, because emotion, yes, we all have emotion, and it's very easy to react immediately.
Yeah.
But if you go deep, then you can decide how to react, or do I need to react or no need?
Yeah.
You need to really go deep, and then give the answer to yourself. What should I do in this case? And as you said before, all the guests are different. All the guests that enter in the door of the hotel are different.
Exactly.
And we don't know before they come to the hotel what they have been.
Yeah.
Maybe you are upset because your flight was late, you stuck in the traffic in Ho Chi Minh City, and you come to the hotel, you're already upset.
Yes.
But how I know? I don't know.
Yeah.
But you arrive and you're already upset. So in our job is also understand the guest coming. Okay, the guest is happy, he's unhappy, he's tired, maybe he has a long flight, or he just want to have a lunch and go back to the room. So there is also a level of psychology that you can understand just by the looking and a few words when you meet the guest. So what the guests need right now. Do they need to take a rest? Or can I offer you to take a lunch, some food, some refreshment?
Wow.
That's important.
Yeah. In our newness framework, it starts with the letter N in the newness, right? And that letter N is the word notice. And your industry give you the ability to see things beyond other people will be able to see, because you have a chance to interact with so many people from so many different backgrounds, from so many different industry expectations, so many stage of life and everything, right? So it gives you the ability to observe things way better than other people. So if there's one thing or two things that you can share with us to help us to read the room, to read the people, to sharpen our skill, to observe life before us.
What will be? In my experience, you can read people from the way they introduce themselves, or maybe if they want to talk, or maybe they are in a rush, they just want to go, And in my particular case, as I told you before, as working in a hotel, and this is mainly it's a business hotel, so we see a lot of businessmen come in and go. Many times they don't even have time to
say hello,
to talk, or to just hello, and they take off and they go for meeting, whatever. So reading people is something that I learn, of course, and how you can do the better. The way you present yourself to the other person. When we meet before, you give me a hug. I still remember. But we don't know each other. And this is the way you present yourself to me. In a warm way, and like we know each other from before. And I like that.
Me too.
I like that. So the before talking, there is body language
and it always starts with
face expression that you can read the other person.
And it's something, the skill that we can learn over years, also
of course.
sharpen. So few last questions. Okay, few last question. The first question is, I want to bring you to travel time again. I want to see you and your brother riding bicycle to a train station, and the two of you, I think your brother was so kind to sit with you for a few hours.
Yes, very kind.
To have you fulfill your dream of watching the train going by, saw people coming in and out, right? And then you, me, and Vivian gonna get into where you two sit and watching. You're gonna have a word sharing to your brother and yourself. about the future, about anything that on the journey up leading to you are doing now, you want to share to that two little young boys then. So what is that you're gonna tell both of you then?
You see, what I will tell? No, I will tell like somehow the train that I always look come and go is like I jump on that train, and this train it took me so far, right? So you mentioned it also before, and I never thought about this. If I see my life back, it looks like a train. They're going from one station to another station, and the station is representing the country. So from Vietnam to China, from China to another country. Every station I go down the train, I do my experience, then I go up on the train again to the next station. So back on the day when I was a kid, that train, I didn't know, but it became my life, right? Train is always going to a new place. You never stay in one city, right? So I can see the life like a train, and every country that I went and do some kind of experience, it was a station. And what I can tell to my friend, to my brother, sorry.
Brother and you.
Brother and myself. No, I'm at the end. I'm happy to long time ago to jump on this train.
Wow.
And to my brother, he's not so adventure like me. So maybe he can accompany me in a few stations only, and then go back if he want. No, my brother. I remember when we were kids, and I always stress him, bring me to the train station. He was so kind. To fulfill my happiness, my happiness.
I think Italy is having that strong bonding with family of tradition. And last question, and this is not the easy question.
Oh my God, I need to be ready.
And it's not easy because you have to select, and sometimes it's hard to select amongst the people that has contributed to our achievements of today, our journey of today. So you mentioned a lot about the people you didn't call boss, but you just call mentors. And they spend time, they spend sharing you their experience, helping you to sharpen your skill, teaching you the areas you yet seen, and there must be many of them. And the not easy part is now I have to ask you to pick one, because I wanna use this way as a channel to share your message to that individual.
Understand.
So this piece we're gonna specifically send to that person. So who's that person is? And what is that you're gonna talk to that person? Then I want you to think about that, and maybe talk to that person. So Vivian and I were gonna send to that person on your behalf.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. No, I think it's a difficult question. I have many.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I have many people who I met along the way that somehow helped me. Somebody helped me with the technical skill in the kitchen. Somebody helped me to control my emotion. Somebody teach me another things. But there is one which I met the first time I came to Vietnam 12 years ago, and I'm still in touch with him. His name is Frederick Farina. He was the executive chef at that time, and I took him as a model role because at that time he was very calm and he can control very well his emotion. Something that I was not able to do back at that time. So I always look at him and think, how this man can do like this? And back on the time, he was probably my age now. So somehow, now I'm also arrived at this age, like he was before, and I also realize that you can control your emotion, and if you control your emotion, you will live in a different way, So he teach me a lot of things in terms of culinary skill, in terms of living abroad, because for me it was the very first experience so far from my hometown, right? And so I want to thank him. He's now in Bangkok. He's now in Thailand, and of course I think he's 50 something, maybe more. I don't know. Sorry, sorry, Frederick.
Sorry, Frederick. Yeah.
No, but as I told you, we're still in touch. We're still talking together, and you know, every time I have some challenge in the life, the first person I reach out to was always him. You know, Frederick, this is happening. Can you give me some advice? And he always was available to listen to me. You know, even if he's busy, he's also managing a big team in the culinary. So he have a family, of course. So, but he always take time to listen to my story and give me some very good advice. He never give me the solution. That's different. He never tell me, no, Marco, you have to do this one. No, he always give me the advice for me to see things in a different way. And then the final decision was on me.
So he's like a coach.
Correct.
So he guides you.
It's like a coach. I say mentor, and somehow it's also thanks to him that I'm sitting here today and tell you this story. It's also thanks to Frederick. Thank you, Frederick.
And Frederick, thank you so much for being that figure in life, because you not only helping him through his sharing, you encourage other people to, you know, like him. He's doing your, you know, role model, right? And then now there's a lot of people they need to acting like you, being like you, to show up and give people space to think and just role model, right? And people will come and learn from Frederick and grow. So thanks a lot for doing that. And Marco, I promise you that we're gonna have a good conversation together, right? And you gave me a lot of goosebumps, and I told you, and I'm so happy to have a chance to meeting you in person. And thank you so much for being so nice, so kind to spend time to sharing the beautiful story here. And I look forward to, you know, your family, our family together, and we can do crazy things in the good way, right? Crazy things together. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was very pleasure for me to have you here and to have a new friend, right? And to create this connection. So thank you so much.
So now we have two hands.
Now we have two hands.
My friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.